Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going over everything that I've gotten from NetGalley recently because I just got a whole wave of approvals recently and I thought I'd do a little haul video. So for those of you who don't know, NetGalley is a website where you can make a profile and everything to get ARCs, which are advanced reader copies of books before they come out in exchange for a review. I have a whole video about it and I will link it down below and in like a little card up above. So let's get on into it. So the first one is Everybody Wants to Rule the World Except Me by Django Wexler. I think that's how you pronounce their name. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But this is a sequel to the first book, which is How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. It's about a girl named Davy who is stuck in like a Groundhog Day kind of time loop where every time she dies, she starts at the start point of her adventure, and her goal is to become some kind of big hero in this alternate universe and save the world from the Dark Lord. Well, in the first book, she gets tired of dying all the time. And so what she does is she decides she's gonna become the Dark Lord instead. And she does, but it doesn't stop the time loop she's stuck in. So in this book, it looks like she is now the Dark Lord and she's having to deal with everything that comes along with that, like, you know, palace intrigue and manning an army and all sorts of other stuff, but while also trying to solve her time loop issue. So it'll be interesting to see how all that gets resolved, and I'm pretty excited about this one. So the next one is Digging Dr.Jones by Olivia Jackson. This one is sort of like, I get like Indiana Jones vibes from it. Indiana Jones is so quintessential about archaeologist adventure that I feel like anything that's archaeologists and adventure is gonna give those vibes to people, but whatever. So the story is about this girl who's down on her luck and she's like on this trip or whatever, somewhere tropical. I don't really remember where exactly. She gets like this bracelet sent to her room and she puts it on. It's really pretty, but it won't come off. She doesn't think anything of it, so she goes about her day. Well, later on, a guy comes up to her and says he needs that bracelet in order to find this ancient lost treasure in the jungle, and he needs the bracelet back where it got sent to her by accident. But she finds out that she can't take the bracelet off, and so she has to go on the adventure with him to find this lost treasure. And it sounds like a really fun adventure. It's also listed as a romance, so I assume they're gonna fall in love. I've been really liking like adventure romances lately, and so I'm really looking forward to this one. So the next one is Enchantra, I think that's how you say it, by Kylie Smith. This is the second book in the series with, I think it's Phantasma? I can't really remember exactly. I've not read that book yet, so I'm afraid about being a little lost, but from what I understand from the synopsis of this book, it sounds more like a interconnected novel and not a true sequel, so I don't think I'm gonna have too much of a problem. But it's about a girl named Genevieve whose mother died under mysterious circumstances, and she wants answers, and she gets an invite to the Enchantra game at the palace or whatever, and so she's gonna go ahead and enter that and try and get answers about her mother. I really wanted to read the first one. I got it from the first book from the library a while back, but I got it and then I got the flu, and so I didn't have time to read it, and I had to return it to the library before I could read it. I'm back on the hold list again for it, but it's gonna be a while. So hopefully I won't be too lost reading the second book first, but if you've watched these videos for very long, you'll realize this is a pattern with me. I very often accidentally do that, where I read a later book in the series first and then go back and read the first book. I don't know why that keeps happening to me, but it does. So not all of the books that I have as ARCs have covers with them for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Most of the ones that don't have covers that I have, their published date is like really far from now. So there might be a chance that they just don't have the cover finalized yet, or it's like the rough draft of the rough draft or something, and so they don't have the cover attached to it yet. I'm not really sure. The next book that I have, I know has a cover that's been announced. I know because I was part of the street team thing that helped announce it and everything, but the ARC doesn't have the cover on it for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Anyway, it's Heartstrings by Fairbanks. This is the second in her series. I loved the first one. The first one is Morbidly Yours, and that one has actually earned itself a prime spot on my bookshelf right here. I love that book so much, and so I was really ecstatic about the second one. It is also set in Ireland. So the main characters in that one are Aiden, who is a musician, and Lo, who is a nursing student who is a cancer survivor. Lo is also the cousin of the female main character from the first book, and Aiden is the best friend and best man of Callum, the main male character from the first book as well. And so most of the story happens at the wedding of the characters from the first book. But don't worry, if you read Heartstrings first, you're not gonna be like super duper lost. So the story is that Lo and Aiden dated in the past before the book started, and they broke up because he wanted to go and do his music career and she didn't really want to do long distance. So they broke up. Well, they still love each other, obviously. And they're being forced together for the wedding of their friends, and they butt heads and learn to get along with each other and then come back together at the end, obviously. I'm not completely finished with it yet. I feel like I should be finished with it by now because I've had it for so long, but I'm a chronic mood reader. And so I have a bad habit of either A, I read a book instantly all in one day, or I take months and months to read it. There is no in between for me. And for some reason, this is one of the ones that's taking me a little longer. But so far, I am really enjoying it. I think I'm pretty far along. I think I'm in like 60% mark-ish, because I had this one for a little bit, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm part of, like I said, the street team for the cover reveal, and we all still like have like the group chat thing going. And so it's been really fun reading along, and then also like having people like gush about it with. It's been really nice. So speaking of arcs from authors that have written other 5-star reads of mine, I also have Katherine Sinter's newest book, The Love Haters. So the book is about the female character who is a journalist, and she is kind of in a lagging point in her career right now. And she finally gets a break when one of her co-workers wants her to follow this rescue worker who like went viral a while back and is notorious for not doing interviews and stuff. And it just so happens that's his brother, and he doesn't want to do it because of, well, it's his brother. And so she agrees to do it despite not knowing how to swim, because he's a water rescuer. So that's gonna be a problem in the future, because she lies about being able to swim. Anyway, so the story is that she goes and she covers the story, and she also has like this like video series or something that she does on the side where she interviews people, and she also wants to interview him for that series that she does as well. And yeah, I don't really know much about it other than like the trope list for it and everything, and that basic outline. So it's by Katherine Sinter, who wrote one of my favorite books, the rom-commers, and so I'm really looking forward to this one. There's just a few tropes in The Love Haters that I'm a little worried about because they're things I usually don't love. So I originally got this arc right after reading The Truth According to Ember, or I think it's the name of the book. I can't remember exactly the name of the book. But it was about this woman who basically lies a lot to get into a job, and it all comes crashing down with everything, you know, all that stuff. I'm not loving that she's like the main character in The Love Haters is lying to get the job. I'm like, okay, that kind of feels like the same thing almost, and that's not great. But it's also Katherine Sinter, so I'm like, if anyone can make it work, it's her, because she's her book, The Rom-Commers, is one of the few, very, very few books that has a third act breakup in it that I actually like it. And that's very, very rare, because usually third act breakup is one of my least favorite things of all time. Like, I will regularly, like when I'm thinking about buying a book and I'm not sure about it, I usually will Google and see if it has a third act breakup, and if it does, then I usually will just go ahead and not get it, because I really just do not like that. I think it very rarely ever works. And honestly, sometimes now it's starting to feel like enemies to lovers is the same thing to me, where they're trying really hard to be enemies to lovers, and they force it when it doesn't really work, and that just really bothers me. But that's a whole nother thing. Don't need to go off topic too much. Anyway, so even though I've had this book for a really long time, I am really excited to read it. Like I said before, I am a chronic mood reader, and so I may be excited about a book, but it's going to take me a while to get to it and actually finish it. I am one of those people where I either finish a book in a day or a couple months. There is no in between for me. And this is one of the couple months books, and that's not saying anything bad about it or anything. That's just the way I function, if you can call this functioning. Next is another one that I'm pretty excited about, and it's I Think I'm in Love with an Alien by Aguirre, I think is how you pronounce it. Aguirre? I'm not sure. I'm awful with names, so sorry if I butchered that. Anyway, this sounds hilarious. This sounds like a good old fun time. I'm real excited about this one. I just got approved for this one like right before I started recording. So really, really excited. I'm probably gonna read this as soon as I'm done recording this video, honestly. I'm really excited for this one. So it's about an alien who is stranded on Earth, and he has like a cloaking thing that kind of like hides him because he's an alien, so he looks like an alien. So he has this cloaking thing, but it's starting to malfunction because he's been stranded here for a while. But he's made some friends online, and they invite him to, I think it's called Space Con, which is basically like a giant convention. And he's going to go to that, and he's going to be, I guess he's going to be able to go in like his normal form, like an alien, and no one's going to really notice. And then while he's there, he meets one of the attendees who is a woman. And I assume they're going to fall in love because of, well, the name of the book. So I think that sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds hilarious. I foresee me giggling and kicking my feet in the future. I'm really excited for this one. I have not read anything from this author before, so I'm pretty much going in semi-blind on this one. So the next book is an audiobook, because you can also get audiobooks on NetGalley, and that's My Demon Hunter by Aurora Ascher. I think is how you pronounce the name. I'm not really sure. Once again, I'm butchering names here left and right. I'm so sorry. Just bear with me here. So this is part of the Hellbent series. The first one is My Funny Demon Valentine, which I absolutely loved and just ate it up. So I'm really, really excited for this one. So this one follows a character in the first book. In the first book, it's about these brothers who are all demons, and they escaped hell, and they're being chased by this legendary hunter who's also a demon, whose job it is to bring demons back who run off or other things like that. I can't remember his full name because they all have, crazy demon names, but he goes by Mist. And in the book, he has decided that he sees the love from the main characters in the first book, and he wants that for himself. And so the book ends with them calling a sort of truce and them agreeing to help him find someone. So in the second book, which is My Demon Hunter, which is the one I'm going to be reading, it is his book, and he's going to be meeting someone. So I'm really excited about that one because I loved the first book so much. So last but not least is the graphic novel Muted Volume 2 by Miranda Munt. I also got the first one, and I really, really liked it a lot. The artwork is exquisite. Like, that's the only way to describe it. The artwork, the color choices alone are just gorgeous. But if that name Muted sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you're on Webtoon, because it was originally a Webtoon comic. I'm not sure if it's still on there or not, or if it's on there and it's one of the like paid pass ones. I'm not really sure. I read Muted for a while, like when it was a free one on Webtoon, but I really haven't kept up with Webtoon a whole lot lately, so I'm not sure it's still on there or not. I'm not really sure. So the story of Muted is kind of hard to talk about without accidentally spoiling something because of how like much there is in the story, I guess. But the story is following this one woman who is a witch, and she is in one of the more she's in one of the prestigious witch families, and they're very strict in her family. All the families work very, very differently. Hers is very strict, very straight-laced, and everything like that. And she's not doing well with that because of, it's just not in like a rebellious sense, like a rebellious teenager or anything, but more in a, that's just not how she herself functions, and it kind of goes against what her family does. And the story of Muted is her discovering herself. I guess that's a good, broad, vague way of saying it without giving away too much. Also, in the beginning of the book, so I feel like this is not too much of a spoiler, you find out that her parents have passed away, and she lives with her aunt, who is pretty evil, and her cousin, who she's best friends with, and that really drives a lot of the drama in the story. Her butting heads with her aunt, and like stuff with her cousin, and then also discovering the story of how her family actually died. It's a great story, and I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's on Webtoon. I'm not sure if it's one of the ones you have to pay to read, because a lot of the ones that get published in the books you have to pay to read on there. But I think they have like the first like 3 like episodes or whatever they're called on Webtoon. I think the first 3 are like free, because I think they do that with most of their paid ones, is they have like 1 or 2 or so for you to read for free to get to whet your appetite a little bit, so you'll pay for them. And I highly recommend it for this, like the artwork alone, honestly, because the artwork is stunning. Like, there's a few pages in the second volume and the first one, honestly, that I wish I could just like frame and put on my wall. It's so pretty. So that's all the books that I have from NetGalley right now. I will probably get a few more here and there, simply because of like, I think I have 15 requests still on NetGalley that haven't been responded to yet. So hopefully I'll get some of those as well. So if you like this video, or you're just interested in seeing all of my reviews in the future of all these books, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell icon so you'll know when I be posting all the reviews, because I will be posting a lot of reviews because I have a lot of books. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye!